the time of the recording of this video, I've been reviewing fly fishing books on YouTube for just over a year. And the vast majority of those titles, over 50 books, have come from famous fly fishing imprints and major publishing houses here in the United States. But those aren't the only places that you can go to find good fly fishing writing. There's some good stuff out there that is independently published or self-published. I'll talk about 3 of those books today on Casting Across. Hi, Matthew of castingacross.com, where I explore the quarry and culture of fly fishing. One of the great things about Casting Across for the last 10 years is I have gotten to meet and become familiar with people's work and people's fly fishing that I wouldn't have found if it was just me, my local fly shop, and the river. And because I've been talking about and writing about fly fishing books for about 10 years, I've been able to read a lot of stuff that people send me. And sometimes that comes from a big box from a publisher's warehouse in New York City. And sometimes it comes with a handwritten envelope from somewhere out in Montana, and everything in between. But what I've discovered as I've read the gamut of fly fishing works is that there's a lot of books that are not popular by publishing and ranking standards that are definitely worth checking out. 3 books that are self-published or independently published that I think you should consider reading are what we're talking about today. The first one is called Life and Death in the Middle, Reflections from the Seamline by Anthony Surage and Mike Aleckson. Now, this book is cool for a few reasons. One, it's 58 chapters in about 170 pages. So you can do the math. These are quick, bite-sized stories, sometimes only about a page long. But you have 2 authors who have 2 different voices, and so they have 2 sets of experiences, but sometimes they kind of overlap with one another. And one of the authors was a fly fishing guide, and they talk about fishing trout out west, out east, in the salt, for bass. They add other reflections on life, on spirituality, and everything in between. Just a fun read, a quick read, and something that I definitely have enjoyed. Next book, Tim Pynes' Fly Fishing Through the Crazy. This is about his experiences and his fly fishing at a time when he was serving as a chaplain in a Denver hospital during 2020 and 2021, the years and the era that shall not be named. So while a pandemic was happening, he was dealing with some very, very difficult circumstances, as we all were, and fly fishing became a source of tranquility and calm and peace in a way that transcends the tranquility, calm, and peace that it had been before and that it often is. And so he writes about that and kind of this dichotomy of the craziness of his work life and the peacefulness of the trout river. And really, one of the things that he captures well is that in that moment, when it's you and your cast and your fish, all that stuff kind of fades away. And I think that's something that we can all resonate with. Lastly, and the newest of the bunch, 2025's Rivers of Passage by Ben Hohnke. Now, this book is interesting because the subtitle is Adolescence to Fatherhood on Trout Streams, something I can certainly identify with. But whereas I was fly fishing in my teenage years in Virginia and my young adult years in Pennsylvania, he was doing it in Australia and in Tasmania. So the scenery is quite similar, but you get a bird or a plant or some slang that I'm looking on my phone to figure out what it is, which kind of added to the enjoyment. Now, he has the fantastic ability of writing about relatively kind of mundane and normal fly fishing situations, but doing it in a really engaging way and with a lot of heart. Now, another common thread for all 3 of these books is that all 4 of these authors, write about how their faith is a significant aspect of their fly fishing. And that's one of the reasons where I think we all somehow got connected with one another. So I will put links to where you can find all 3 of these books down in this video's notes. And then I would suggest you go check them out. And I've got other ones I'll be sharing here in the coming weeks and months. But definitely check these books out. And then go over to castingacross.com, where there's 3 posts a week on the people, place, and things that go into the pursuit of fish.